focus of this trip of really meeting real people and getting out there in the field. Yesterday, which was already covered a bit in the press, we were meeting with the St. Martin Development Fund and visiting houses. We went to the Housing Foundation over in Belvedere. And today we had a very, very busy program. We started off the day on Laser 101 on the radio, which we'll be following up in the future also with visits to other radio stations as well. And then we were at the fire department, we met with the Marines, we met with persons who had gone through the hospitality and training program. We had a lunch with NGO persons on the island, and also went out to see actual business owners. So we were here really meeting with people who have been affected by the reconstruction and talking to the man on the street, the woman on the street, and seeing how things are going.
I spoke indeed with a lot of people that are, as citizens of St. Martin, are involved in the reconstruction, or are the ones that benefit from the reconstruction, and sometimes both. So that means that people, ordinary people, I would say, and I consider myself also as ordinary people, although some other people don't think that we are ordinary. But yes, I try to meet and catch up with ordinary people and ask them how they see the progress, or maybe the lack of progress, or what they do have as recommendations to do it even more better. What I saw was very committed people, people that benefited from the program we set up to make them more employable in the hospitality sector. I spoke with bartender Cheryl, and she was very enthusiastic about what she considered, with a lot of working experience, as a new impulse in her career, and making people that are having their holiday here, bringing them every day a lot of good atmosphere and attention, and seeing this looks like very small things, but these are essential when you want to have St. Martin on a path that is upgoing in economic sphere. I saw a lot of entrepreneurs, I spoke with a lot of entrepreneurs, some of them helped by credits, like Sade Hodge. She has a tropical hair. I was not the best customer for her, but I visited her shop and it was very crowded, so she's doing a lot of good business. But also Elvis Harrigan, and he's a photographer, and he restarted his company with funds from credit, but also with the Chamber of Commerce, and we exchanged some views how we can engage St. Martin companies in the reconstruction. That was a deep wish of the Dutch and St. Martin government when we made an agreement with the World Bank, but it's now also the challenge to deliver on that, and I'm committed to do so. So both of these elements, so the social aspect of people having a job again and are proud of being part of the reconstruction, on the other hand, the economic prospects that are quite good, I must say, make that the ingredients altogether are here to make the tourist sector, for example, a flourishing sector which can benefit from all the investments we are doing. What we are doing with the trust fund, the 550 million, is not only solving problems caused by the hurricane, but also try to make sustainable projects of it. The dump was mentioned, the airport, and the housing projects. And last part of the visit was together with the director of the NRPB, Claret Connor, and his staff, discussing how can we potentially speed up projects, where are the things are going well, where should we direct or speed up. So I think it was a very good visit. I will come back in a few months, and it's the part of the program where you meet people and not only the officials. Of course I'm an official too, but I want to behave as a committed state secretary that wants to act in the interest of the people of St. Martin. That makes that I'm going to have this in the program next time too, Chris, so you can prepare for that already, because that's very good.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Mr. Knops didn't take pictures of poor and needy housing districts. State Secretary Knops of Interior Affairs and Kingdom Relations these last 2 days was in St. Martin to look at concrete results that have been booked so far in reconstruction projects financed through the trust fund and managed by the World Bank on behalf of the Netherlands. For publicity reasons, he went to visit 3 homes, one in St. Peter's, one in Soccer Garden, and one in Middle Region. Pictures were taken to illustrate back home in Holland that today, Thursday, the 27th of June, 2019, almost 2 years after Irma, the private home repair program will start for a total of 200 homes. Did you see the picture in the newspaper that he took with a St. Peter's resident whose home will be repaired only now after almost 2 years? We don't know who put the program together for Mr. Knops. But what we noticed is that the state secretary, he did not visit the districts like Dutch Quarter, Coal Bay, KB, where a lot of homes still have to be built back better and stronger. Why the state secretary was not brought to the 9 districts where the Red Cross staff and volunteers are confronted for the immense task to rebuild back better and stronger the homes of the poor and the needy? The Dutch were the first to report to the world based on the estimates made by the Royal Marines immediately after the impact of Hurricane Irma that 70% of the homes in St. Martin were structurally damaged. After all, the drone surveys done by international agencies, a percentage of 70 to 80% structurally damaged homes is now mentioned in the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. Those homes has to be built back better and stronger. On the total of 19,000 housing units, that means that 13 to 15,000 homes has to be built back better and stronger. As we have estimated, based on newspaper articles, less than 1,000 homes have been repaired by different entities since Irma. So it's a bloody shame that the Dutch government, until now, did not construct these 13 to 15,000 homes for the poor and the needy. Just as the Red Cross of the Netherlands, since after the hurricane came to assist the poor and the needy by facilitating the repair of their homes, to rebuild better and stronger homes, the Dutch government could have offered immediate support by building 15,000 new homes, better and stronger, for the poor and the needy in 1 year time. Why we say so? By putting their money where the mouth is, they could have selected Dutch construction companies immediately after the hurricane to build these 15,000 homes in 1 year time before a next hurricane season. We are already in the second hurricane season after Irma, and all what the Dutch government has done is making some tranches of money available via the Dutch Trust Fund at the World Bank, charging them to use their procurement procedures to build back better in St. Maarten based on projects that they have to approve in the so-called steering committee of the Trust Fund. Well, they have approved sums of money for the new hospital to be built, that it could be built back better and stronger, but so far, no new hospital construction yet. Well, they have approved a grant for the rebuilding of the airport building, but so far, this money has not reached the airport yet to be used for the reconstruction. So where is the 15,000 homes project to be constructed in 1 year time? For the Dutch to build 15,000 homes is chicken feed. Why we say so? Because in the Netherlands, in the same year that Irma hit St. Maarten, in the Netherlands a record amount of 62,000 new homes were built, according to a publication of the Central Bureau of Statistics of the Netherlands. In other words, if the Dutch could build 60,000 homes in 1 year, then they could have built 15,000 homes to be rebuilt here in St. Maarten, mentioned in the World Bank Group publication called The Roadmap for Our Reconstruction Development for the projected 7 years.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Wib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
Hello St. Martin, my name is Stephanie Medina and I play football with the Walichi Women's Soccer team. I have represented St. Martin in many different games, for example the Dutch Caribbean Women's Soccer Cup. I played against Bonaire, Aruba and Curacao right here in this stadium. Sports matter to me because it makes me happy, it keeps me fit and healthy, and it is very fun. So I asked the business community to take on this challenge and help us rebuild our facilities. And I also asked the community to nominate the local businesses in your area and take on the challenge and step up for sport. Why? Because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sport Facebook page for more information. Hashtag sports matter, hashtag are you in?
We had to build all our institutions from scratch, from ground zero. Curaçao didn't have to, because they inherited the entire package of the Netherlands Antilles. All of that we had to do. And amidst all those challenges, we continue to get a Dutch government that breathes down our back, breathes down our necks, and make us feel as if we are a bundle of no goods, a bundle of misfits, a bundle of corrupt people, and we need their help and their support to clean up our mess. And so one of the first things they came with in 2015 was the so-called agreement to establish that notorious integrity chamber. And this politician, this MP, when in opposition and when he was a prime minister, fought against it because it was an intrusion on our democracy. They had no right. And I still maintain that up to today. They have no right. But if you sign an agreement, if you volunteer to sign an agreement with someone, then you're expected to carry out that agreement. The bank can't go with your house unless you sign an agreement to mortgage your house. But if you have a house that you didn't sign a mortgage agreement with the bank for, the bank can't come and pick up your house. The neighbor can't drive your car unless you give him permission and you have a signed agreement with him that whenever he needs a car, he has a spare key, he can use it. And yes, St. Martin, a majority at the time fell for it, and they signed on to it. And the Dutch continued. And when William Island became prime minister in 2015, what did we find? No approved budget for the year 2015. An accumulation of more and more debt. An administration building that was there for years, not finished. Paying for it, not using it. And what did we do? We said there's nothing we can do at the end of the year for budget 2015. But we presented a budget for 2016, and it was approved. We presented a budget for 2017, and it was approved, and it was in time. And on September 1st, 2017, we presented another budget, this time for the year 2018. And that too was balanced, that draft budget. On September 1st, the hurricane came a few days later. Devastated St. Martin. And guess what? The Dutch said, we got them. We got them. Because they're now flat on their back, and we're going to drag them on their knees, and everything that we have wanted, we can get now, using the hurricane. And I don't need to repeat all that has happened. I don't need to repeat it. But when the Prime Minister fought back, they found allies among the local politicians to create all kind of lies, all kind. And we won't go into the details of that. But finally, their plan came to fruition. But one of the things that they say oftentimes, paper is very passionate. Put it on paper. but I hope the Secretariat has it documented. But every day, the Council of Ministers, after the hurricane, used to meet with the governor at his cabinet. And the day His Majesty the King, along with Minister of Interior, at the time Minister Plasteric, they visited St. Martin, and I accompanied them throughout their trip, visiting different districts, schools, GBE, and other places. After that trip, I met with different members of the Dutch media, and something struck a nerve. And I came back to that meeting, and Minister Lee was a minister at that time as well. MP Silveria Jacobs was Minister of Education. MP Emmanuel was Minister of Romy. And they can all tell you, unless they don't want to tell the truth, that when I came back, I said in that meeting, guys, we are in trouble. There is a conspiracy all the way to the top in The Hague to overthrow this government. And I was greeted with skepticism by some 4 members in the room at that time. Come on, why would you say that? Nah, that can't be. You can't be serious. And when I explained why I'm saying so, some still felt like, oh, he's seen spooks. And it came to pass. It came to pass. And yes, there's a political victory for some because they got into government. There was a victory for some because they became ministers. But it was the beginning of a sad day for St. Martin. Because the takeover by the Dutch government was planted and started to sprout and started to grow. And while conditions had to be arm wrestled to get those conditions for hurricane relief. When I spoke to Minister Plasteric after the hurricane, because State Secretary Knops was not in office as yet, because there was a transition following the election and no government had yet taken over. And I told him, I said, St. Martin is devastated worse than we were after Hurricane Louise. But guess what? We have the experience of Louise to build on. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And I said, Minister, if we do what was done in 1995, place a reconstruction coordinator in St. Martin to shorten the distance of communication between St. Martin and the Dutch government. You have someone on the ground here speaking on your behalf, can approve whatever projects or wishes that we have. And so we can move forward. And that is one of the reasons why so much was done in such a short time after 1995. But they had their plan. And when 550 million was so-called earmarked, it came with a condition that it will be placed in a trust fund by the World Bank. And after one of the first trips of our Minister of Finance, what did he tell us here in Parliament? The money is not a grant to St. Martin in its totality. It's made available. And if you don't use all of it, what is after 2 or 3 years, and the reconstruction has reached a certain stage that the Dutch government feels you no longer need any more of that money will flow back to the Netherlands. That is what the minister explained here. After the whole world and St. Martin was told that the 550 million is what we have,
It is ours, and we don't need to pay it back. And every time it would appear that there is a drawdown, there's a new condition. Every time you put in a request, there are new conditions. The government is frustrated. MPs in Holland are voicing their frustration. Some of the media in Holland is voicing their frustration. But the government continues to dance to the tunes of the President of St. Martin, State Secretary Raymond Knops.